Hi, this is Liam from Global Media Networks with the business highlights. We can take a look at what happened last week. We see the Lanka Ashok Leland unit of Ashok Leland has won a 700 million rupee contract to supply 200 buses to Sri Lanka's state transport utility. Now, Sri Lanka's transport ministry will buy 200 buses from Lanka Ashok Leland PLC, information according to Minister Keheli Rambukwela. Now, ICRA Lanka, an associate of Moody's Investor Services, given SLA negative rating with a stable outlook for a 1.25 billion rupee unsecured debenture sale by Lanka Oryx Leasing Finance, Lanka Oryx Leasing Company PLC. We see that the rating took into account LOLC track record of profitable operations in its market position, experienced management team, adequate risk management, and retail franchise, and support from its largest investors, Oryx Corporation of Japan. We also see that confidence in the level of inflation and credit growth has encouraged the central bank to keep policy rates unchanged at its first monetary policy review for the new year. It said broad money growth continued to moderate owing to the slowdown in credit extended to the private sector, which has been decelerating steadily since implementing several policy measures in early 2012. Private sector credit growth declined to 20.7% in November from the peak growth of 35.2% recorded in March 2012. The net credit obtained by the government, which increased up to November, declined substantially during the month of December as a result of conscious efforts by the government to meet the fiscal targets. The credit obtained by public corporations, however, continued to grow, exerting some pressure on broad money growth. We also see that the significant foreign inflows have strengthened the rupee by 6% against the dollar since the first half of last year, the central bank said last week. Now, as a result of the significant foreign inflows already being witnessed, the rupee, which appreciated by 5.3% against the US dollar during the second half of 2012, appreciated further by 0.6% by the 15th of January 2013. Now, the bank said in comments following the first monetary policy review for 2013. Now, increased its borrowings. The cabinet last week gave approval for the government to obtain a 53.8 billion rupee in loans from the Japanese government range of infrastructure projects, including power transmission, bridges, and road construction. Now, the cabinet statement notes that the 23.9 billion has been allocated for Greater Colombo transmission and distribution loss reduction project that will concentrate on meeting the electricity demand in the capital. Now, the loan will be provided through the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, and carries a 40-year repayment arrangement at an interest rate of 0.3%. A grace period of 10 years is also provided. Valuable Finance PLC has been rated a BB positive with a stable outlook by RAN Ratings Lanka. The company's NPL ratios improved by 4.26% at end March 2012 to 1.81% by end March 2012, but has deteriorated to 2.67% by the end of the first half of the current financial year. Now, Sri Lanka's new vehicle registrations fell 44.8% to 25,308 in December 2012, with new registrations of small Maruti and Suzuki cars down 64% and BMW cars up 161%. New motor car registrations were down 54% to 1,464 in December from a year earlier, but were up from the low of 1,073 hit in September. Now, three-wheeler registrations were down 44% to 7,000 units, after falling as low as 3,533 units in May 2012. Three-wheeler registrations recovered at 8,060 in November. Small hand tractor sales were down 56% to 886. Now, Sri Lanka Telecom, the national telecommunications service provider, One of its most successful and popular products, SLT Mega Line, has registered its 1 millionth customer. That's 1 million fixed lines connecting 1 million families, over 4.5 million people across the island. We also see the President's Council and Ceylon Bank's senior independent director Nihal Jaiman assumed duties as its new chairman, while Isharyani Kara took up position as deputy chairman of the bank. Looking at more news, we see that Commercial Credit and Finance PLC is selling a 250 million rupees of 5-year debenture paying off 20% per year, with an option to sell further 250 million rupees worth if there is strong demand. The interest will be paid quarterly, giving an annual effect of 21.55%. The debenture will be listed and free of withholding tax as announced in the budget for 2013. The Commercial Credit will be the first company to sell debentures under a new tax break. Subscriptions will open on the 23rd of January 2013. Gram Ratings Lanka has rated debentures BB. The company reported a net interest income of 1.16 billion rupees during the 6 months to September 2012, up 723.2 million rupees an year earlier. Profit for the 6 months was 270.3 million rupees, and the firm had gross assets of 12 billion rupees. We also looked at Mr. Ashok Pattabegi, Director and Deputy Chairman of NDB PLC, Asian Alliance Insurance PLC, and SoftLogic Finance PLC have entered into agreements with NDB where the respective parties have been collectively allotted 2 million shares of NDB amounting to 1.22%. With that, I round up the news. Thank you very much for listening and have a good day.